We are getting to a point in the crypto market where things are about to really get dummy crazy. That's literally the best way I can describe it. Dummy crazy, ridiculous, just bonkers, whatever you want to call it. And I believe it all starts the moment that Ethereum breaks their all-time high. Now, the funny thing is, with the pace at which ETH has been going up over the past few days, there's a possibility it happens in like 24 hours, 48 hours, but funnily enough, if we look at BTC, if it copies along that trend, it could also be a few weeks, even though we're only like a percentage or a few percent away. And I'll be honest with you, there's a few regrets I already have formed. One of them being that it did not open the 10K to a million challenge on Ethereum as I had originally planned. And actually, funnily enough, I didn't also open one for BTC. And I told y'all before, I kind of want to do 3 challenges, one with BTC, one with XRP, and one with ETH. Because I mean, when I look through the bots right now, you remember that just a few days ago, most of these were at a loss right now, right? Dogecoin here is not doing too good, but generally every single thing I've opened over the past few weeks is just absolutely printing. And matter of fact, even Link, it's freaking doubled, right? We've only gone from $17 to $23, but we freaking doubled our entire... Anyway, I'm just scrolling through and I see ETH and how crazy good it has been doing. Here's one of the ETH bots. Unfortunately, it was not really a big one because we tried to buy the dip for it, but the dip never came, right? But when I look at now this 10K to a million challenge on XRP, we only put $10,000 in. It is already right now at 44. When I think about it like that, I should have just gone a little bit crazier, but that's the thing, right? When the market is moving up, and I'm not trying to say here that, let me just say it like this. When the market is moving up, you will always feel like you should have bought more. And when the market's moving down, you will always feel either that you should have sold or that you were over allocated. And here's the kicker. In bull markets, in my own humble opinion, and I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just giving you guys a little snippet of my brain here of what the way that I'm thinking about this is. And again, if you've been watching for the channel for a while, you've seen the results. You've seen me here in front of a screen make millions of dollars right in front of your face. And a lot of people like to say, yeah, but it's easier when you've got money. It's easier when you've got... Sure, keep up all your freaking excuses. But here, this is, for example, $10,000 or about $12,000. You can still see on this ETH trade, we actually, even though it cost me a long time to keep open, right? It's already cost me like $6,000. We're up $70,000 on this position. Or the XRP trade, we put $1,000 in. And I believe, let me quickly double check right here as well. If we just go and scroll down a little bit, even the XRP position, $1,300 in, and we are up roughly $70,000 on this. And I have the Bitcoin trade, as you guys may have seen yesterday. What is the point here though? That even I feel this FOMO. Even I feel this exact feeling that most people comment about. And here's what I'll teach, or I guess explain from it. If you just stick to a strategy, if you just stick with it. This is exactly what I said yesterday, right? But today proves it again because ETH all of a sudden moved up a couple $100s. And this proves it. Right now, people will feel FOMO. Most people, they're asking in the comment section, is it still worth to buy? Should I? Or there was one person, this almost made me want to break my freaking phone. He commented saying, why are you so excited when XRP is only going down? And the only thing I'm thinking is, you ungrateful piece of garbage. You ungrateful piece of doo-doo. You're just a doo-doo eater, doo-doo stain, brother. Because how dare you say XRP is only going down when we're 10% below the all-time high, absolutely blasted over the past couple of weeks. And sure, I'm definitely be more excited if XRP all of a sudden goes up 40% in a day. But here's the kicker. Every single day before this moment happens, think for a second here. Every single person whose main coin was ETH, they're either going crazy because they're making so much profit, or they're thinking, if only I just bought a bit more. Take a look at me right now. I told y'all for a while, I want to really get crazy ETH positions, right? Because I believe so much. And unfortunately, even though, yes, I had some positions, we had this 120K trade, and on Blowfin, by the graciousness, I don't know how we got to it, but we opened a 350K trade here. For some reason, we were able to get at least some size in. It's because the price didn't really go down. So it's right now only $100,000 in profit. But I told y'all before, I want to make this $1 million ETH trade at least as well. Why? As I simply described, is because if it's a 3x leverage, this is where now the more money you have, the easier profit gets, right? But Basically what I said before is I can put almost anything in a 3x leveraged ETH position, I think, because I think it's really quite hard to wreck it. And the same thing I said for Hyperliquid, the same thing I said for a couple of other assets like BTC, where the liquidation price is relatively so low. I'm doing cross in this case because we've got massive P&Ls from the XRP position, for example, right? It's quite hard to wreck the account. But the moment that things start falling hard, you'll see also that all of a sudden some liquidations are going to be coming in, or at least prices. Obviously, the goal is not to get wrecked. And that's actually why the moment that some of these coins hit all-time highs, it is always wise to cash some out. If we're looking at ETH, for example, the moment this gets to, let's just say, our exact input, we put $120,000 into this. Relatively, it's crazy the fact that we've almost doubled our money in what feels like no time at all. This trade, if you go to Bybit, this trade took so freaking long. I don't even remember opening it, which is the funny part. All I remember is seeing this at like a couple tens of thousands of a loss. And all of a sudden now I'm looking at it thinking, damn, I kind of forgotten this existed. It's about 41 ETH apparently that we were buying. And it's up 70,000 bucks. So, oh, damn, it's interesting. Regardless, what I was trying to point out, what I was trying to prove was actually, fun fact, if you also want to trade crypto, the bots, which is all automatic, it's just I open them up and you can copy them with the link down below and they just buy and sell automatically. You can check them out with the link down below to PayOnix. It's just a platform I trade on. And the main platform I trade on is called Blowfin. There's also a link down below right here. It's where I have all these this is where I'll have all these trades on, and PayOnix is basically this orange one. There's always a nice bonus for signing up though. So if that's something you're interested in, you can check it out with the link down below. But as I was trying to say, the main point here is if you're holding a coin that's not really at its all-time high, even though XRP for the most part is, because it's 10% down from it, right? But if you're holding a coin that's not really there, or you're not seeing massive amounts of profit yet, see it as a benefit. Solana, for example, it's going absolutely insane just now, back at $191. You had a lot of time to buy it at 160, maybe slightly below it, I don't really remember. We didn't really take full advantage of that. As you can see, I kind of just accidentally bought it 168, right? We only bought $10,000 though. But this is actually, funnily enough, this was because I put an order in a while back and I was like, if it goes down, I'll buy a good chunk, but it really didn't. 168 is actually, in my opinion, still quite high. You could have bought really a lot better for Sol. But regardless, this is what, last week, maybe like last week or something, because it's not been more than 2 weeks, I believe, since we bought this. And we practically doubled our money all of a sudden overnight, right? All of a sudden, Solana just goes on a run and we doubled our money. Now you might say, Dusty, but you turned $900 into 11 or into 2,000, so plus 1,100. That's nothing, right? Relatively, I told y'all before, sometimes it's not really about the dollar amount, it's the percentage, and it's the fact that if you can do it once, you can probably do it again. And I'm still very much in touch with the reality of money. $1,000 is still $1,000. Like just now, I paid for a return flight, couldn't change the back flight of it, and I'm like, what should I do now? Should I just take it? But I want to, I don't want to, right? And I have the freedom, I have the money, I can buy whatever I want. So I just skip the flight and book a new one, which is kind of interesting to me because then I'm there thinking, damn, I do not want to waste a flight, but it's only a couple $100. Like what am I actually thinking about? In reality, it does not really matter, but that's the funny thing where you can still think about money a lot. But if we just keep looking for 1 minute, you'll see this go up and down thousands of dollars, right? And if you extrapolate this to an entire portfolio, you'll see it go down perhaps tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands by the minute. It's really kind of crazy how this can mess with your brain. Okay, maybe not hundreds of thousands a minute, but you get the drift, right? This can also fluctuate hundreds or perhaps thousands in seconds.
But now before I move on, let's talk about a project I've partnered up with for this video. The project at hand is MWX AI. We all know that most of these Web3 projects talk about AI in a really interesting fashion, right? They all say all these big words. But MWX is quietly building what real-world businesses actually need. No fluff, just plug-and-play AI tools for over 400 million small businesses. So one of the cool things about them is that the small to medium enterprise pays for the AI with fiat, just normal currencies. It then automatically swaps it to MWXT, and that actually gets burned on every single use, and that way, pretty good for the token, as you can see right in this little sheet. Now, the team behind this is also behind the biggest crypto exchange in Indonesia and MediaWave. They've also apparently got over 15 years in AI experience, so that's also quite nice. Anyway, if this sounds like something for you, you're still very, very early. The whitelist is open right now, so you can check that out with the link down below. And let's move on with the video.
So what is my thinking process here? It's just a matter of You will always have the same exact feeling. When things are going good, you feel FOMO. When things are going bad, you feel like, you should have made better choices. So the only thing I can think of is if I look at all these Bitcoin charts, which I didn't open it just now, maybe it has to have it open, not sure. If I look at all these Bitcoin charts, right, what I described before is every single time it breaks the high, it goes on a crazy rampage over the next few weeks, right? And we discussed this in a lot of the videos. Just now, people were commenting saying, yeah, but what if? You got to realize that most people are wrong, but thus far, Bitcoin, XRP, ETH, for the most part, they've never failed me. They've never failed us. And I keep saying this same line. You might find my videos repetitive at this point, but the only thing I can really tell you is if you just buy like a freaking madman, you really just start going a bit more crazy, it thus far has always worked out. And you might say, yeah, but cryptos are too risky. Skip the cryptos, go for freaking stocks. The S&P has never failed us thus far. Yes, it may take a bit more time this time around. No, you might not be up tomorrow, but even the XRP trade that is now up a couple $100,000. We're almost $300,000, I think, up on this. Yeah, just around that level. This was down $100,000 before. So if you're patient enough, things do come to you. And right now, people were commenting saying, I'm the most dumb person ever to not cash out when it was 400,000 in the plus. But the same people will probably also tell me that I should not open an ETH position at a freaking average price of 3,300 because the moment I opened this, it also went pretty bad. I think it was almost instantly down $20,000, which again, relative to the position, that's a pretty good chunk. Because the same thing for the other trade here. You know how long I kept this open for, this trade? Right? Because the moment I open it, ETH, fun fact, ETH, after I opened this, actually went to $1,300 even. So I opened it at almost 3K. It went to $1,300, more than 50% down. I bunkered through, and right now we're reaping the benefits. But people will tell me, yeah, but. I still don't think it's a lot of money that we've made here, relative, percentage-wise. I still think it's going to go so much higher. And even the moment we touch 6,000, I'm still like, all I'm doing is buying all of them. And people can't comprehend this. They can't see the longer-term vision for some reason. Maybe you're watching this right now thinking, I get it. But most people I speak to, for some reason, they do not get the concept of just staying consistent, showing up every single day, making sure you actually believe in whatever asset you're buying, because that way things are just so much easier. Yesterday, I looked through the comments, right? Because it's a down day. You know how many people comment, but XRP is down. What do we do? Why is my XRP not pumping? And the only thing I'm thinking of is, man, these guys are getting it all wrong. The only way you should view it, in my own opinion, is, okay, I get to get a little bit more time before they absolutely pop off. Because you've seen, or actually I've seen the results from just staying consistent and keeping it up. Not every trade will be the same. 𝗵𝗵𝗲 here, we're still down thousands of dollars on the 2,000 we put in. You can see it's actually not been doing too good here. But I don't really mind. I think eventually it'll turn right back around. I'm not really too afraid. And even if it does end up failing us tremendously, is that really that bad? One trade down, two trades down, even three trades down. Even if they end up never recovering, is that really the worst? Now, little fun fact as well. So the reason I talk about the bots so much, this is one of the best examples I can give you right now. This is like a little core DustyBC knowledge I'm giving you right here. If you compare some of these positions, for example, the ETH position, I'm telling you right now, the fact that I've paid about, I'm going to say 50 to 60% of my original balance in funding fees, right? Because you can see I paid like $6,000, maybe more. No, almost $7,000 on keeping this 41 ETH trade open. If you start thinking about this, I paid about 60% of whatever I put in, right? Think about this for a second. If only I'd put this into the bot. If only I took that and put it into this ETH type of bot, which by the way, right now the price is doing so well that it's not even buying and selling anymore. This is in the last 90 days. I opened this at $2,100. Has already cashed out 32% and is in profit, of course. If I had put that into a bot instead of just buying it straight up, the amount of money I would have seen on this, a few 100% of my original investment, it would have been up already over the last, let's say, year and a half that I've kept it open for, maybe more, I don't remember. This would have been so insane. And that's because what these things basically do, as I've described 1,000 times by now, is they buy and sell relative to what you've set in your parameters and the current price, or the price that you open it at. In essence, if I start a position, for example, ETH, over time, right, if the price goes up, that is good for me. But if on the short term it just goes down and down and up and down and whatever, we make money on that, on the volatility. And specifically here, if you look, I've kept this open for the past 3 months or so. if you look at the yearly return, purely on just the volatility alone, 120% worth of gains you would have gotten. If you think now about the fact that I've kept this open with ETH going all the way towards 13, this is not it, but I'm talking about the ETH trade here. I kept it open all the way for ETH at like $1,300, and the problem is I can't see trades older than like I think 6 months or so in this chart, because you can see here I still placed some buys when ETH was quite low, but my average price is still like 2,800 or something like that, and these buys were significantly lower than that, so I basically DCA'd my way down for some reason. But let's just say I started buying this, for example, in the middle of 2024 or something like that. I could have actually made so much money on this move downwards because it would have just kept buying consistently. And it just makes me realize, I've been playing this game a little bit wrong. And where is it wrong? That I'm just not confident enough sometimes too. I just had not put all my strategies perfectly in place. And even though, as you can see, we're doing exceedingly well, because all you see here, all these trades, all these positions, they've been opened over time only in live streams or videos. So everything you're seeing right here, every single dollar of profit, this $1,000 XRP trade, the $2,000 Bitcoin trade, the $2,000 to $50,000, it's all been public, it's all in live streams. Some people are still here now that watch me open it. And you might say, oh, but you have the advantage of time. Well, when did you join crypto? 3 months ago? If you look at the bots, for example, fun fact, this position, the gains, they theoretically speaking could have come from just a few weeks, right? Because the average price here is 253. But as an example, most of these were open like within the last 100 days or so, and they're up tremendously. Or if we go up to the top here, right? Some of these have done crazy, crazy numbers. Now, some of them won't, but you got to give them more time. This has only been like a month or so, not even. And it already made me 500 XRP, I put 5,000 XP in, right? It already made me 500 XRP just from the volatility alone. It is down a little bit, meaning that right now, since I bought in, I started this bot at 345. It is down right now. We're still actually in profit. You see the catch right there, how beautiful this can get? Now, the goal still as of this point is just to open more and more and more. And what I'm gonna do tomorrow probably, depending on how things go, is I'm actually gonna change a few of the ranges. Because if you look at this ETH bot right here, where is it now? We need to change the range because obviously it's not trading anymore and we want it to continue on. But the moment you do that, the negative thing is that it will buy a little bit more, because if I put this, for example, to 5,174, you'll see that as at this point it says the liquidation price changes significantly. Why is that, or what's the concept there? Well, theoretically speaking, it's not going to change that much, but in this case here, as long as I do not reinvest, my liquidation actually goes down, which is quite nice about it. If I do reinvest, you can see if I press it, because it'll buy all this amount right now at this price, my liquidation price also goes up. So if I press do not reinvest and I press adopt, you'll quickly see the actual invest after that is still 1,500 and profits will not be reinvested. All I'm doing is changing my range from where it will be buying. So yes, I'm going to modify that and see exactly what happens right here. And you can see nothing really too much has changed. All that it does is right now start a new round. And if we go to placed right here, you can see it placed a ton of orders already to buy more ETH even at these prices. And basically right now it's going to open itself a little bit of ETH of a position as well. And just as the price starts going down by more and more and more, as the price is going up from here, it's going to sell. You can see it partially right there. But even the Bitcoin position, right? Bitcoin doesn't move that much. So you can see this line has been really, really stable, even though, yeah, I mean, it's logical because Bitcoin also didn't really move too much. Even though we started at 94,000, you might say that's lucky. That's mostly the first spike, right? Bitcoin has basically been trading at $113,000, $120,000 throughout all this time. Very, very small range, even though, well, I guess throughout this time, we've still been able to cash at about 13% or so in the past 100 days. That's all besides just the price going up. Besides our invest going up. It's just literally from the price going up and down, even though to my own beliefs, Bitcoin really didn't move. It went up once and then never came back down. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. I know it did. Of course, if you have more volatile assets like XRP, over the past 100 days, we've been able to cash out 45% on that. And that's the craziest thing. That's really what makes this stuff also staggering. You know, you have all these different strategies, all these different opportunities, and all it takes is for you to just stay committed to something. I mean, look at this, 𝗓𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀. Do I like 𝗓𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀? No. Do I think it's a quality asset that would do well over the next decade? No, it's garbage. Does it matter? Not really. I mean, you can see we've already cashed out 42% on this bot. So right now, even though the price is down tremendously, we actually, right, we started this at 130. We bought as the price went down to DCA. We only started with 1,500. Now it's 3,000 times 3. There's actually only 3x leverage, whereas mostly I do 5x. You can see though, right, just how amazing it has been going because Vartcoin has been so volatile. And the 10K to a million challenge, I think depending on what the price does tomorrow, we can actually cash out these grids. I could theoretically speaking do it right now. All we do is just we press this little button that says release profit. It cashes out $2,000 and then I reinvest it. So I just changed this number from 42,000 to let's say about 44 or whatever, it is this investment plus the grid profit. With the goal there being that we get this number to 1 million over time. It's been 90 days and we took it from 10,000 to almost 42. If the price just keeps going sideways, it doesn't even only have to go up. We might get there. Now, for a lot of my friends that have been attempting this, actually, my main bot guy, he said it's going to take probably 2 or 3 years, but because we're doing XRP and not BTC, and we're doing 5x instead of 3x, like he did, it might go a bit faster. Might take a bit of a shorter time, but obviously it's also going to have a lot more drawdown, which you see, right? If you look at this, it'll almost always be at a loss in terms of overall P&L. But then again, we started with 10K right now. It's still at 42 minus 9. So if you think about it from that angle, it's quite good. But that's also because you keep reinvesting if the price goes up at a higher and higher price, which means your average price goes up. You can see we start the bot at 236, but our break-even price right now is about 353. Oh, you can't see it. It's a little bit on the right there, 353. And that's because, again, every single time you need to cash this out and reinvest or press compound, but you can only compound if the bot, of course, is in profit. The way that I'm doing it right now by cashing it out and reinvesting it is like a little workaround. You could also change the price, and I believe if you change the price range, it will also ask you to reinvest. But I'm also not 100% sure what that says when you are in total of loss. But theoretically speaking, cashing this out and reinvesting it while the bot is at a loss means we're buying at a lower average price, which theoretically speaking could help our break even. Anyway, I just keep looking at this ETH bot thinking, oh, if only I just went a bit crazy, right? In my own humble opinion, nothing here that I'm showing is too massive on the numbers. How much is in total in these bots? Like 1.5 million? How much is in total in the below fin positions here? What? Not even $2 million? It's good and all, but even if the crypto market doubles from here, all that this makes is, let's say, $3 million or something like that. It's not crazy, right? But the fun fact is, if I just keep buying every single day, even though tomorrow, it may not be amazing, right? ETH right now. People will look at ETH at 4,600 and think, Dusty, are you stupid for still thinking, even considering getting more? And the only thing that I keep, the camera's overheating by the way, keep responding every single day is almost any one of these trades was at a loss at the start. Just think about where it will be in the next few weeks, next few months. Don't think about where it is tomorrow or where it was yesterday. That will all distract you from being able to be really, really profitable over time. And I want to keep reminding people that over one day, over 1 week, you might not see it. It's over a few weeks or a few months that you do. And I know I might have to bring this message out multiple times for multiple years. And I've been doing that for the past 8 years, almost every single day. And I'm going to keep shouting it. I'm going to keep saying it. Over one day, you may not notice. Over one day, you may hate yourself. Over a few months, you'll love yourself. Even when it comes to Solana. You might have hated yourself last week because all of a sudden it went from $200 maybe to like $160. You're looking at your screen thinking, if only I sold the freaking top. The same thing goes for XRP. Right now at 330, people are saying, I wish I sold at 366. I'm so stupid. My trade, right, was 400,000 the profit. Right now it went to like 100,000, I think, profit. Right now back to 300K. It's a roller coaster, right? And for some people, they can't handle it. And if you can't, sucks for you, buddy. I mean, you're going to have to be able to handle it to actually make a crazy amount of money over time, because the more money you got, the more volatile these things also will get. But I always say no pain, no gain. I find it worth it to see these things be extremely volatile because I know that over the next few months, I'll look at this, they'll be triple, and I still kind of will think it's low. But at that point, depending on the timing, depending on how crazy Bitcoin right now goes, because I'm really mostly just looking for Bitcoin to make its move. The moment that Bitcoin does, right, that's literally all we want to see. The moment that it does, and ETH kind of pauses and lets BTC rise, we know the altcoin season is very, very near, but not in full peak. If Bitcoin fails to peak above the all-time high before ETH starts going on a massive new rant, that's bad. Mostly because that means the end of the season is more near. Because I keep using the excuse of, but ETH hasn't even hit an all-time high, but right now are very, very close. Whereas Bitcoin, we wanted to also continue on the trend back upwards, take the lead, and so the altcoins kind of slow down. Whereas right now it seems that phase 2 of the altcoin season index basically is coming along, which basically means BTC stops gaining, ETH starts gaining like crazy, and then smaller and smaller coins. I still stand by that logic though. Most of these coins have not seen the surge yet that ETH is witnessing right now. They're doing good, sure, But this basically is ETH season, because 9% for ETH in a day is massive, but I still think we could probably see like a 20% or something like that day on BTC. So do I really think the top is in? No. All I'm thinking of is just buying more coins and not being a little whiny ass. But hey, not financial advice, just my thoughts. And these are my plans, these are my thoughts. You do you though, right? Nothing here is financial advice. But damn, do I love watching these charts. Damn, do I love watching these prices right now, even though a lot of people will probably be sad that they see their coin is not up a ton. But again, think about it from longer term. Damn, I wish I bought more. I don't know, I have this feeling every single time. Every single time. And still, what happens when the market goes down? Do I buy a lot more? I do. But it could always go crazier, right? There's always finding a balance between not being too hurt the moment the market comes down, but also making sure you are definitely excited when the market comes up. And there's this one saying I sometimes see on the internet, and it's basically, is it truly a loss, or is it truly a risk or loss if you're living, is it truly a loss if you're risking the life you don't want to live anyway? And I'm not saying your life is bad, right? I'm just saying this is not exactly where you want to be, because I'm in a position right now, I'm exactly comfortable. This is exactly where I want to be. I'm feeling happy every single day I wake up. This is perfect. Could be better, in certain senses, but this is exactly as I want it. But that's also because I've adjusted my risk accordingly. If you're in a situation where you're not, I always say, is it not worth the risk? Because what are you missing out on, right? Anyway, of course, this comes with considerations. Don't be a full-on degen, put everything on one thing and just see it go, you have a 2% margin. That is all crazy talk. I'm talking about properly thinking about a strategy, going for it, but again, keep it in mind. And I've said this, look back. We say this in all the streams. We say this in every single video for weeks, months. There's literally nobody that could be doing bad right now. And if you are, it's a you problem. Realize that. Oh, man, what a crazy market, though. I'm going to end this video because otherwise I'm going to be screaming for another hour. That's about it.